Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another study. Today we'll be covering US 30, a short entry I took today in New York session, Thursday, October 19th, 2023. So yeah, let's get right into it. So start off here on the 15-minute. I did use the rewind tool to New York Open, well, actually just before. Now this is New York Open, and I'll discuss everything I saw at the time and what I wanted to see going forward, what I was targeting. So starting off again on the 15 higher time frames, we have been trading bearish after taking out this liquidity here. Okay, you can see we have liquidity at the lows here. So I'm dragging that over to the right. Also, we can see that we have inducement low, which we have now taken, and we're getting a reaction out of. So there could have been a possible buy entry down here. But yeah, continue going on here. So this is the 15. That's what it looks like in the hour. So again, look at we have the liquidity down at the lows here, just like this. That was what I was keeping my eye on overall. Hopping in on the 5-minute here. Okay, so what do we see? Well, we've taken the inducement low, which has now allowed us to go bullish. Big move to the upside. Okay, look at now the liquidity we've left after the lows here. So mark them out like this. You can put like a little eye here. Lots of liquidity left at the lows, right? You see how price was like chopping around here, and this is inducing sellers over here, right? And then all of a sudden we get a big move. So lots of buyers in the market here, which do need to get taken out. Well, if you look to the left, we got a previous low printing a new high, and then we took that previous low. So this is where sellers are interested in selling from. Now, they have now gotten trapped as well. So right here, sellers trapped, perfect, which tells me now we can start seeing that move to the downside, right? So here's this initial move where we take out the sellers, okay? And then we get a pullback. Now, we haven't had that buildup yet, right? So what we can expect is this is going to be a buildup. I'll even do it like buildup, just like this. And where do we react off? This high right here. Okay, so now we have all these areas planted on. You see how we just literally went, followed price along, identifying what liquidity areas we've taken, where sellers are getting in, where buyers are getting in, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so now if we do run up now and take out this high from here, just like this, well, now we have an inducement low set for us. Boom. So we won't mark it yet as an inducement low because we haven't taken that high yet, but we're just anticipating this, okay? We aren't selling up here. This is a liquidity block essentially by the book, but it's not going to give us our higher that move we're looking for, right? Most likely just a false reaction, and then we'll take it, okay? But yeah, we'll continue with price now. Yeah, so see how we got that false reaction, little spike down, mitigating this area down here, and then one bullish and took it out. Cool. Now, we have taken out the liquidity. Now we're going to start looking for entries. So we need the lower time frames here to align with everything. So we're still moving bullish, right? You print high, print low, go higher, low. So now we're starting to build all that liquidity at the lows. Nothing as of interest yet. Okay. Mark this out. So I was looking at this live time, and I saw that we actually had a low and a high. So essentially trapping sellers here. But look how we just blew right through. There was no buildup, right? So now look how we use this area as a buildup. Stuck around here for a bit and then spike through it. Just like this. Cool. So now possibly look how we've now left a 1-minute liquidity block. Just like this, right? So possible entry. I actually took initial entries here. Okay. And what I wanted to see was I was aware that we also haven't arrived at NYSE, New York Stock Exchange open yet, which is 9:30, which is known as a very volatile time for the stock indexes, right? So yeah, this is definitely a time to keep an eye on, right? I spoke about this in the past as well. But yeah, we'll continue on. Now, look how we hang around, then we get a sell-off. Now, when we took this low, what does this now tell me? Well, sellers are induced now, right? And we are not going to be selling in these areas anymore. So what I did is I rolled my stops to break even. I either wanted price to just maybe have a little pullback and just die, or what could happen is price can take that low like we did here, take that low, and then arrive all the way back up to the highs, take all this liquidity out, trap the sellers, and then have them move. Okay, so that's why you got to be able to manage your position accordingly. So that's exactly what I did. Rolled my stops, and you can see not too long after that, we went all the way back up, okay? And that's just the power of understanding when to be managing your positions and stuff like that. Like I said, after we take this low, buyers are trapped, sellers induced. Lots of selling pressure is going to be coming out of this area now. We want to see price above all these highs. That's exactly what we do. We stab above those highs, which now means we've trapped sellers. So what I've been doing is I just marked this as, so there's like that false break of structure for them. And then here's the check mark, essentially saying we've now trapped the sellers, so now we can look for that move, right? And any reactions out of these areas are going to be a trap, right? So I'll hop back into the 5-minute here, and I was waiting for an entry at this time. Look how we get a nice closure below the previous candle's low, which now means we have a liquidity block left at the extreme. Take that low, drag it over. Look how we reacted off that smart money trap as well. Okay, and entries are taken here. Stops are tucked above the liquidity block. And where can we target? Well, again, we have an inducement low here, which is definitely an area to, you could be taking partials, paying yourself a little bit, doesn't hurt to. But overall, I do want price all the way to the downside, right? Because this is where that buyer liquidity is. Okay, this is where we want to be hunting for. But my thought process behind this was, once we take this low, we could probably see a pullback of some sort. And just because I'm already like at like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 here, I don't really want to see a whole pullback down to like a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. So I take partials down here, okay, to ease my mental kind of, to remove as much emotion as possible, and then continue to target the overall lows down here, okay? So next candle comes in, actually taps this in right away. Perfect. We'll continue here. And now see how we get a little pullback here, back to the extreme, essentially retest that liquidity block again, no problem. Another bearish candle, and then we continue. Now we grab this low very aggressively, grab that liquidity. So this is where I'm taking a little bit of partials, okay? Nothing too heavy because, again, my target is overall to the downside, all right? So now look how we get that little pullback. I wasn't phased by it again. I took partial, so it didn't bother me at all. Hung around, and then boom, blasted through the low, okay? So very, very clean trade. I mean, can't get more textbook than this. You have your build up. You have, didn't mark this on, but I should have, sorry. You have your inducement low down here. And then we get that move taking out the liquidity. Then we're looking for an entry in this price action over here, right? And we have multiple targets being here, buyer liquidity, and lots here as well. All right. So yeah, very clean, very straightforward study for you guys, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.